Hey, it's actually a really nice day after a lot of rain, sitting here in isolation. So thought it'd be nice to get outside and do a bit of cooking. One recipe that I thought might be pretty handy for a lot of people out there is a simple bread recipe, and this one is really simple because it's basically no knead. So I've been making bread for the last month or two, probably 2 months, and I started with because I wanted to get into sourdough bread making. So I made a starter, which is your natural yeast, and also this really cool white bread recipe. Basically you need very simple ingredients. Bread flour, in this case wholemeal, because there's no plain flour in the whole world. About half a packet of packet yeast, so about 3.5, 4 grams. 10 grams of salt, 300 mils of tepid water, and a bowl. So those are your main ingredients. So let's get started. Okay, so we've got our 500 mils of wholemeal flour into the bowl. In fact, I hope that's 500 grams, because I used the other half on another bread recipe, so I'm guessing it is. Let's just say half a packet of this, maybe a little over half a packet of yeast. I'm not going to measure it, I'm just going to tip what I think is half in. Probably that much. Got about 50 mils of olive oil, and I think this basically just makes it sort of a nice, a moister, softer dough, based on doing it before. Maybe about that much. Salt, just like any other thing, any other seasoning. You need a bit of it, not just a pinch. Tepid water. So that just all goes into a bowl. These bread, what are they called? Baker's helpers, are awesome. A couple of bucks, just at a cooking shop or whatever. And it just helps to bring everything together, just so that there's no liquid there. Get it all from the sides. This is why these things are really good, because the curved edge here just helps you to get everything off the side of the bowl. And so what happens after this, you just tip it out onto your work surface and start the kneading. And for this, we're gonna have to go inside to the kitchen bench. So we're back in the kitchen, we've got our dough, it's all brought together. So like I was saying before, this is a very simple, basically no knead dough. So we're gonna get it out onto the bench, and we're literally going to give it 10 seconds, or a little bit more than 10 seconds kneading, just to bring it all together, and then just put it back in the bowl. Turn it out, get all that dry flour out as well, and get it off this thing. The other good thing about this baker's helper is that once you've got it on the bench, you use the flat edge to bring everything together. So basically, I'm going to bring it in all together like this, and then just get all the dry ingredients pushed into the sticky bit of the dough. This takes this is the longest time you're ever going to have to handle the dough. I'm just about to put it back in the bowl. When you do that, pour a tiny little bit of olive oil into the bowl and just rub your hand around, just so it doesn't stick. But what we're going to do is, now that it's all brought together, literally like that, bring it into a bit of a ball, put it back in the bowl, put it to the side, and we're going to leave that for 10 minutes. We're going to come back and knead again for another 10 seconds. Okay, so 10 minutes later, nothing much has changed. And I did forget to put olive oil in. So literally 10 seconds. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Bring it into a bit of a ball. Grab him. Little tea towel over the top. Leave for another 10 minutes. And that's it. And we do that another once or twice. I can't remember. I'll remember after this. Clean down your bench and wait for another 10 minutes. Okay, so coming up for the last knead, you can see it's risen again a little bit. Again, 10 seconds. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Now this time, we put it back in the bowl and we let it prove for about an hour. Okay, bread's been proving for 1 hour, and it's absolutely looking amazing. It's risen really well. What we've got to do now is knock it back and add it to the bread tin, but first I'll just show you the best way to flour a bread tin is to, first of all, splash a little olive oil in the bottom and get some kitchen towel, wipe it around all the way all along the sides, get rid of the excess, and then get some flour, add a bit in to the tin, probably about that much, and then kind of just knock the tin so that it hits every surface of the oiled part of the tin, all around the sides. Is it going to make it? That's pretty good. Put that down like that, and then what you do is you knock back this dough. So you knock all the air out of it, fold it over a couple of times, and then this time we're going to let it prove a second time for about 50 minutes in the tin itself. So to get it into a good shape, you kind of just get it into a shape like this, just a basic loaf shape, and get your fingers in, don't dig it in, but sort of fold it in on itself so it's a nice tight loaf, and then tuck the ends in like that, and you get a nice sort of tight bread shaped loaf that you can gently put in the tin, cover it with a little bit more flour, and then cover it with a tea towel and let it go for about 50-55 minutes. Okay, so the dough has been resting for about 50 minutes or so in the tin. You have a look here. So risen nicely after, so this is the second proving in the tin. What you need to do now is basically score it and then put it in the oven. And what scoring means is just little cuts in the dough so that it has somewhere to expand, or else it might just kind of explode and go everywhere. So little cuts in the dough. There you go, perfect. And then we're going to put it in a as high as your oven can go, so probably about 230 degrees is how hot this oven goes. Full whack for about 35 to 40 minutes. Oh, actually, one thing that they do is, because we don't have a steam oven and bread bakes better with steam apparently, is open it up, chuck some water in there and it steams, and we'll come back in about 35 to 40 minutes. Okay, so moment of truth. Let's take her out and see what she looks like. Or he. Check it out. So that's been in probably a bit less than 35, probably in about 30. So we'll just put that there for a sec. Let's see if I can actually just turn it out. There we go. Oh. So just let it cool for 10 or 15 minutes. You don't want to cut it when it's that hot, but there you go. That easy to make a beautiful wholemeal loaf.